Chapter 6 Anger, a Torrent of Rage.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः, सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः, स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो, बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 63. Anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined.
Couple of days gone in the week, and one evening, Parth was craving for his favorite coffee at Starbucks. He knew that recently a new outlet of Starbucks had opened near his home. It was so close that he decided to walk down. A swanky new outlet greeted him with the same warmth that he always experienced. There was a sense of community, comfortable surroundings, and that familiar coffee aroma which was not seen in other coffee shops. Parth stood in the queue to place his order. Just a few people were ahead of him. He casually began looking around him when he noticed the familiar face of Krish in one of the corners near the window. Krish was busy, deeply engrossed in his reading. Parth collected his coffee and walked towards Krish's table. He did not want to interrupt Krish, but as he walked closer to his table, Krish looked up and smiled at him with a bit of surprise. "Hey Parth, good to see you, man. How have you been?" Krish pulled a chair close by and gestured for Parth to join him at the table. "Not too bad." Parth was happy to receive Krish's warm welcome, but was a bit confused about the appropriateness of barging into someone's private time. Krish had an excellent ability to judge people's minds from their faces and reactions. He immediately put his book aside and tapped on Parth's shoulder to sit down. That small gesture made Parth comfortable immediately. Krish took a sip from his coffee and offered the cookie plate to Parth. "How's everything at work and otherwise?" Parth was now comfortable and briefed about the work developments to him. After his last interaction with Krish at Karnavati Club, he was quiet at home. He just wanted to ask Krish for his advice. He gave it a moment's thought and said, "Actually, work is all right. My personal life, not so much. I just don't understand what to do to make myself clearer and understandable." Krish leaned in and nodded. He was taking a good look at Parth's face, trying to understand his emotions. Parth was looking down and then met his eyes. He continued, "I wish there was a way to make the conversation easier with my girl. Ever since we have been spending time away from each other after college, it has just become increasingly tough to manage our schedules. This whole long-distance relationship thing, I don't know how people do it." Krish looked at him with a graceful smile, understanding his situation. He clasped his hands together and said, "I understand where you are coming from. It is not the easiest thing to make a relationship work when you have so much on your hands, as every relationship needs time to flower and become stronger." "Yes." Parth's eyes were elated. He continued, "This is exactly what has been happening to me. After so long and so many uncountable rejections and efforts, I finally got this job. And I want to cherish it and excel at it. I want to prove myself worthy of it. I'm just getting started. Also, my team has given me a huge responsibility. I'm always thinking about how to make better sales and make the business grow. This is all I think about, and it is important for me too. I'm scared of failing again. This job means everything to me right now." He stopped to take another sip from the coffee. "I understand that you are committed to your work, and that's how it should be. Our work is what makes us. I believe you can do well if you keep at it." Krish gave him some words of encouragement so that Parth could cheer up a little. Parth nodded in agreement. Krish said, "So, what is the problem? Is it too much time away from your relationship because of your work?" "I guess so," Parth said and looked outside for a moment. He stared at the people coming in and leaving blankly. Krish realized his state of mind and decided to help him feel at ease. "So, Parth," Krish said, and Parth looked back at him. "What is it that you feel when it comes to this situation?" Parth listened to the question and reflected on it. He rotated his cup, trying to think about it. He then said, "I guess I feel like a failure, frustrated with all the hectic schedule and the expectations that Kalyani has from me. I just get so stressed that I do not know what to say anymore. I feel at a loss for words." Krish sympathized with him and said, "Why do you think you get this emotion?" "I feel like I'm not in control of my life. When I try to make one aspect of my life okay, the other aspect gets left unattended to. This is what worries me the most, to feel like I'm not in control of my situations." Krish smiled and said, "Very well put, Parth. You are self-aware enough to understand why you feel like a failure, whether you really are or not. That's up for another discussion." "Yes, I'm not really angry with her. I just want things to get better for the both of us. And when I find that I cannot do that, this is when it gets worse." Krish nodded and said, "So, what do you feel? Do you think Kalyani wants the same things as you? Does she want to make it work, your relationship?" Parth stopped for a moment to think and said, "Yes, I know she also feels the same as I do about our relationship. She was always there whenever I needed her. Even though I was not employed, she did her best to make me feel not so alone and kept me motivated. And yesterday even, she was the first one to initiate the issue of setting up a date after so long. I was the one who felt unable to go and meet her. So yes, she was trying to make our relationship better." So that clears the part that you were not angry with her. You were not frustrated with her, right? She was doing what you wanted to do too. "Yes, that's right, she was." "So, where is the fault?" Krish asked, looking deep into his eyes. This time, Parth was taking a little bit more time to respond. For a moment, he felt that he was wasting Krish's time by involving him in such petty matters of his personal life. He wanted to tell Krish that he felt very childish of himself to bother him with such trivial matters. He looked at Krish and then found his peaceful comportment relaxing enough to tell him the truth. He said, "The fault is all mine. I was angry at myself for not being able to be there for her." "Do you think you are at fault here?" "Yes, I feel that way. Who else should I blame then?" "Do you feel it is always necessary to find blame?" "I don't understand." Krish leaned in and then said, "Parth, has it ever occurred to you that there will be situations in our life that are out of control of just about anyone?" Parth looked down and pondered over what Krish had said. "Yes, you are right. I feel there are situations that no matter how much I try to, I will never be able to fix and control everything." "That is true. We cannot always control the situations that are presented to us, but we can choose how we react to them. Isn't that true?" "Yes, that is the only thing that is in our hands actually. I should have been a calmer presence for Kalyani and should have handled the situation with peace. There was no need to get so worked up." "Then tell me, Parth, how would you like to have behaved in the situations with her?" "I guess I would have politely told her to postpone the meeting to another date And instead of leaving her guessing, I would have told her the real reason why it was not possible for me to go on a date with her just yet. I mean, she had told me in the past several times that she won't be able to connect with me due to work commitments, and I was happy to give her that time and space. I'm sure she would have done the same thing for me, only if I told her that. Krish smiled and patted his back. He said, "Well done, Parth. Now you understand that the answer was within you all along. You just let your emotion get the best of you." Yeah, right. That is true. I did let the emotions take the best of me. You told me about emotions. They are a way for us to maintain our survival, a way our body reacts to situations. It was like that. I still don't fully understand how and why psychology works this way, but I do know that it is always wise to take your time and not get swayed by flickering emotions. They are there momentarily. Yes, Parth, they are flickering. They are there one moment and then vanish the other, because their sole purpose is to keep you safe against any unfavorable circumstances. And in this case, the unfavorable situation was you feeling out of control. You felt like you were not doing enough. You were scared of letting your own expectations down. You were blinded by your own impossible expectations. Parth looked at him with his eyes wide open. He said, "Krish, now that you have put it this way, I feel like I can see this all so clearly. I can now finally see how and why my body felt agitated and my mind became so angry. It was my own impossible expectations for myself, my own expectations of being the perfect boyfriend, the perfect employee. I had created an imaginary person, an imaginary Parth in my head, and that was very different from the real Parth that I am. And because of my own illusory beliefs, I was scared of letting myself down. Yes, you are right. I should have never put all that burden on myself. Life gives us enough pressure anyways." I'm happy that you feel a little more resolved and clear now, Parth. Remember, the situations outside of us might be unfavorable and very demanding of us even. I experienced a lot of pressure too in the early years of my life. But if there's anything that I have learned from life, it is that I'm always in control of my inner world regardless of what is happening outside of me. So, I rely on my inner world rather than the happenings of the outer world. Strange and amazing things, emotions. They feel so real at the moment, and then they could turn into regret or a blessing later on. I feel that I have a lot to learn from you about all of them. I'm here. Krish smiled with his dimples, and Parth smiled back brightly. No more was he morose and glum about the happenings of the day before with Kalyani. He knew what he had to do now exactly. He was going to use the clarity in his mind to tell Kalyani everything in a calm and composed manner. He felt free and his breathing was full of life. A huge burden had been lifted from his shoulders. Even though life was the same, the job was the same, his girlfriend was the same, he felt different about it all. He felt hopeful and full of pleasantness. You are a wise man, Krish. How could I ever thank you for taking so much time out for me and making me see things clearly? He asked eagerly. Krish looked at him with playfulness in his eyes and said, "There's one thing you can do." "Please tell me what it is." "You can order me another cup," he said as he finished the last sip of his coffee. Parth smiled to himself and said, "Of course." "Hey Bittu, Kalyani's family pet name. How are you doing?" Parth asked Kalyani with a breezy smile on his face. "I'm good, you say?" "I just wanted to talk to you about our conversation yesterday. I'm sorry for getting a little angry with you. I know you were just trying to set up a date for us. You care about us. That is true. It has been so long since I last saw you. I felt that our schedules get so erratic at times that I feel that we get no time with each other. And ever since college, I feel we do not meet as much as we used to. It feels really bad sometimes. I wish I could just fly to you. I feel the same, Bittu. I wish I could do the same. But the situation is out of my control right now. You know, it was so tough for me to get a job, and when I finally got this one, I promised myself that I was going to do everything to be the best I have ever been. I wanted to prove myself. I'm always there to support you in that, because you did the same for me too, always. I understand and even request you to put all your energy into this job so that I can be proud of you too. Well, I am proud. Thank you, babe. I knew I could always rely on you. So the situation right now is that I have been given this huge task of getting sales to increase. It is a huge responsibility, and I feel that I need to dedicate all my time and energy to this. I'm afraid if I am not able to perform, they will let me go. Hold on, babe. You will do great. I know it for sure. They will not let go of a gem like you at any cost. You give it your best, and then watch how amazingly you handle everything. I'm sure of it. I know you cannot make time just now. Don't worry, we will meet soon, but some other time. You understood everything without even me saying it. How do you do that every single time? I know, I have known you for all these years, babe. I knew you were working really hard, and I want to be the one to celebrate you and support you through your journey. I don't want to hold you back in any way. Focus on your work, and when we meet the next time, let me know how it goes. I'm waiting to hear good news. You will, for sure. I'm sure I will make you proud. Thank you so much, Bittu. I don't know what I would do without you. You have not just been my companion, but also my dear friend through all this. I feel so blessed to have you in my life. I feel the same about you, Parth. You never questioned me when I was taking up so much time with my job. I always felt supported, even though sometimes I could not talk to you for even 15 minutes a day. You never got angry with me and always supported me. Thank you so much for this, Parth. I will do the same for you. That night, Parth and Kalyani chatted for hours on the phone, discussing their lives and future plans with each other, the funny anecdotes and the happenings of the week. They both talked their hearts out, and when it was time to sleep, Parth had a huge smile on his face. He felt so fulfilled. After so long, he felt a coolness in his heart. He was feeling blessed, and with hopes of the future, he fell asleep.